Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is another Synchronicity Tarot guidance, which means that it goes out specially for someone who has been wishing it, asking the universe for some guidance, or, in any way, shape, or form, they are needing of some kind of clarity with their situation of the present, of course. And before I begin, I would just like to thank Roxana for gifting me with this really beautiful tarot set. This tarot set is quite unique because it has two decks in it. One which represents the light. It is called the Tarot of Light and Shadow, and the other, as the name suggests, the Shadow. So to me personally, the light represents that which is in within our awareness, and the shadow is that which is outside of our awareness. So first, of course, we'll use the light ones. Let's see what they say. So we have the King of Swords in reverse position. Now, I just want to say that what you see on my screen is the total opposite for me. So that's why, I had to um reverse the card. So we have the Eight of Wands also in reverse position. And then we have the Magician, and you guessed it, also in reverse position. Now, these cards do speak to me, the King of Swords. Now, this can represent your overall, mental, how should I say, perception of your life in the present moment. So that means your short-term future plans, what it is that you have in your life, and any plans, any, you know, projects, any desires with that. But when I say desires, this is a mental energy. So how to accomplish it, modus operandi, what am I and how am I going to be doing it next? This also represents communication. This also represents, you having to create the plan to move forward. And I do feel that this is for the short term future. This is not really years and stuff like that. So because it's in reverse position, this means that partially you do have the bigger picture, but you just don't know how to make it go forward because maybe you are still stuck in the retrograde energies. Now, what does this mean? All of the outer planets are retrograde, and Mercury and Venus are direct, but they're still moving out of their shadow paths. If I'm not mistaken, today Mercury is not yet out of his shadow path, so this is a very, very strong retrograde energy who affects greatly the person who this is going out for. Now, the Eight of Wands is very similar energy actually, because the Eight of Wands represents Mercury in Sagittarius. So spontaneous, quick, fast-paced action, news, communication, invitation, etc. And I do believe that for someone out there, this Eight of Wands either represents some legal communication that they might be waiting from an institution, from an authority, from a company. This might be job related, project related, or something that has to do with justice. And when I say justice, it's more like it's not like a big legal battle in that sense. It is just something that has to be bestowed upon you or clarified or something by a legal organization or courts of justice, etc. But I don't feel that this is conflictual. It is just like an acknowledgement or a title or something like that. And the Magician reverse, well, this also reflects that you feel like absolutely nothing in your life is under your control. Either it's very, very stagnant, or simply your inner picture and the inner, how should I say, perception, the big picture within you simply does not correlate to the external. This is where you might feel and think that how am I ever gonna get to the state, to the balance that I need in my life if I don't have any kind of down to earth practical solution to it. And this is again a mental energy. So we're not speaking about how to execute something, but not even the plan, not even the knowledge of the modus operandi is very clear to you. And with the Eight of Wands reverse, of course, this is where you really, really feel stuck and you really need some kind of communication or something to be started. And neither of these kind of depends on you. Now, of course, this Eight of Wands for some people can also represent a travel or going forward with something, initiating something, but you need either the green light, an approval, or for you to be in a position of, I don't want to say necessarily power, but where you have, the magician, for the magician to be upright, for you to have a certain kind of control, understanding, and the ability to adapt to changes and the requirements of this. Now, I'm going to be choosing some shadow cards as clarifiers because this is more like in your awareness. So you know this, you feel this. So let us see what clarification comes to the King of Swords, reversed. We have the Two of Cups, and this is upright position. Oh, this is upright. So the Two of Cups does represent that, with the King of Swords, of course, that this is where you might perceive the blockage, the stagnation, and why things aren't moving forward. Why isn't the exterior sense of logic matching the interior? Well, it is because you feel kind of lonely. It is because you're in, this is shadow, remember, so this is unconscious or subconscious or the inner self. You might be feeling a little bit lonely. You need a little bit of, the Two of Cups, someone to spill a bit of water in your to pour a bit of water into your cup. So like a transfer of emotion, an encouragement, a little bit of love, a friendship. You do need a bit of support in your life, and that can only be given to you by a fellow person, or maybe a spiritual energy. But if it's a spiritual energy, it is not something very Neptunian, but it has to be like a powerful spiritual energy that you can actually perceive. I'm not saying necessarily physically, but you do need to feel the loving presence of an angel or spirit or guardian or animal, totem animal, and stuff like that. But you do need a bit of emotional energy, an emotional pump up, because without the emotion, if your cup is totally dry, then your mental sphere can only rely on its very own resources, and the mental element is quite radical. If something isn't there, if something doesn't make sense, well, what happens? Error, it doesn't compute. So that is why the blockage. And also, this is, remember, the King of Swords. You do need to, I don't necessarily want to say be in control, but at least have the understanding that a plan, that an action is going to work and in this and that way. And if it doesn't, well, I'm adapting to it, no problem. I'm using my intelligence to get there. But the Two of Cups, the lack of either friendship, support, someone to share your story with or your hardships with, that is what you kind of need in order to animate your mental sphere, but in a different way. Just like the sign of Aquarius, right? The water bearer. Now, Aquarius is an air sign ultimately, but the air sign has to pour water, so emotion, hopes, and dreams, and desire for the future into the mental sphere to animate it, to consecrate it. So you do need a little bit. So this is where, even if this doesn't make sense, mentally, unconsciously speaking, a lot of the stagnation is due to you feeling extremely lonely and lack of emotional support in your life, or not enough love. So I would just like to draw another one. So we have the Knight of Wands, also upright position. Sorry, I just had to pick up the remaining cards. So exactly what I said, the Knight of Wands is the power of initiation. It is basically the Aries energy. And we do have a very powerful full moon in the sign of Aries, which can mean the courage to go and do it, or it can mean extreme frustration. Why can't I do it? So the guidance here is for you to make sure that it turns into initiation, courage, and bravery. And the Knight of Wands also represents that you can get some support, some friendship, or this love energy as you go along. Now let's clarify this, the Eight of Wands. Oh my goodness. So the Eight of Wands is clarified by the Seven of Wands, reversed in reverse position. Now, this does represent that you are very, very tired. This is where, if things would be moving kind of fast forward, the Eight of Wands in reversed, so, upright position. For you guys, it's reversed, remember. It might be a little bit overwhelming. You might not have the endurance, may that be psychological endurance or physical endurance, or any, whatever endurance means for you personally, to keep up with the very, very fast going changes. So the stagnation is also, you might perceive it as something negative, and it might frustrate you infinitely, but this is a bit of protection from the universe, because even if your mind does not agree, your being needs a bit more time. I know that external reality doesn't care about that, but maybe if this is divinely guided, the divine has some plans. And the other card which popped out was the Six of Pentacles, which is really, really wonderful, because this says that something is gonna help you out. This may represent generosity. This may represent, a gift, a donation, or someone in your life mobilizing in order to help you one way or another. So when that comes, that is what will start the flow of energies. And this can also mean that this stagnation may just end basically on its own as you get an offer of something. The Six of Pentacles, ultimately, an offer may come to you, and that offer is something that you might really need to consider, because even if it won't be perfect, it will have some really, really good solutions that might be outside of your awareness or expectation right now. So the Magician reverse is clarified by the Ten of Wands in our upright position. Now, this is very, very clear. The burden. You don't, you, it's not just with the Magician reverse that you feel that you don't have all that much control, and nothing that you, for example, the seeds of intention that you're planting, or any action that you're taking, any communication, even because the Magician is Mercury, is not showing the results that you expect. And that is like a very, very heavy burden for you, because you're not used to this. you may be, in a way, you might have some experience how to navigate through stagnations, and this might not be the first major stagnation in your life without a shadow of a doubt, but you're still not used to feeling so very, bound, where everything is totally outside of your control. And one last card. So we have the Four of Wands also in reverse position. Now, the Four of Wands in reverse position represents that something something that is stable in your life right now, but this is the kind of stability which is burdensome. So either inter or codependency, or a living situation which is in a way stable, but it feels like a prison, or it can represent that the way your life is set up right now, it's the same thing each day and you cannot take it anymore. So this is where your inner being is ready to for some instability. It is ready for some chaos. It is ready for change. But the thing is that when change comes, you do need to accept it, embrace it, work with it. Because right now, even if you desire the change with every fiber of your being, if it would come, maybe it would come as a shock. It would come as destabilization, and you fear that quite a lot. Now I'm gonna put these cards away and then use a singular tarot deck to ask for the potential outcome. So just bear with me a moment. So our question is, what can be the potential outcome? Where is the situation leading to? Again, we have the Strength, but in reverse position. Oh, these are too many, so just one, please. We have the Three of Wands, and another card fell off. And that was the Seven of Cups in reverse position. Now I just need another one here. The Two of Swords also in reverse position. Now this is quite self-explanatory. This is where what this says is that you really, really need to take, how should I say, ownership of the integrity of your being. This is where you have like an inner conflict depicted by the Seven of Cups reversed, with fears and desires, where the two are, at the opposite side of the spectrum. Now, let me just explain this in a more concrete way. So you desire change, yet you fear instability. So this is a stagnation because the two emotions, the two drives, the two energies cancel each other out, or simply they wrestle with each other. So hence the stagnation. Now this Strength in reverse position represents our primordial instinct. No, the Strength in upright position would represent the classic nobility of the heart, courage, bravery, inner strength, the heart space, also creativity. In reverse position, all that, but in its primordial form. This is where a sudden burst of energy, a moment of courage, but one which is very intense, one which is out of, let's say, survival. So you do need to take a certain kind of control over your being and get into survival mode. Not now, of course, not in the extreme way, but everything within your being needs to understand that right now you do need your strength, you do need your intensity, you do need bravery, and just inner forces may not hinder you at this moment, because this is building up like a volcano and it will erupt with this Three of Wands. This means mustering the strength and the courage. And I don't usually say this, but sometimes bossing your inner being a little bit to take action. An action when an opportunity arises, because the Three of Wands is perspective. You see the figure gazing at what is in the distance, what is beyond the river. Can you see the river a little bit? So what is beyond the horizon? And that means that something comes, you will spot something, either depending on your situation, what it is that you need, a travel opportunity, a new job, an offer, a communication, or remember the legal thing. Maybe when you get the thumbs up legally, then it is when you need to take action. And the Two of Swords reversed with the Seven of Cups reversed, this is where you do need to focus on singularity. You may not allow, all these choices, these options. What is better for me right now? To stagnate, to do this, to do that, focus on one singular goal, one singular desire. Make up your mind, choose that you're going to do it. And that will break the stagnation cycle. That will start mobilizing events in your life that will get you somewhere. And let's see. Where it is exactly getting you. Well, exactly, the Two of Cups. When you make that move, you will find support. You will find, I don't want to say what you're looking for, because I do have this intuitive feeling that you're also looking for romantic love. But besides, it may be or may not be, but you will get support or a new friend or recognition, or the energies will start, whatever it is that represented the motor of the blockage. Remember the King of Swords clarified by the Two of Cups. Lack of love, you will have that. The Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords represents exactly something new, a new plan, a new seed of intention being planted with the help of this emotional support, whatever that means to you. And we have the Strength again, but upright position, harmonizing. Your effort, your initiative, your courage will pay off. So whatever that action is that is required from you, it will pay off. It will turn into the right kind of strength, where it's no longer survival, but it is where your heart is actually guiding you. And let me just ask, when? When can that opportunity or that inner, moment of courage? So we have the Page of Swords, but reversed. Now, the Page of Swords reversed says that time in this case is not all that linear. There isn't a specific moment. It is not dependent of physical time. And we also had the Nine of Swords. So, exactly, when you get out of worry mode, when you get out of anxious mode, or when this anxious mode actually becomes a bit so uncomfortable that you will take action just to. Oh, and the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune does represent that it will be like a chain of events. When your worry will be so excessive, sleepless nights or something like that, that it will just be too much in that sense, immediately divine timing will kick in. But this is where the Nine of Swords, either you motivate yourself and, take control of your being, or when it will get too much, it will be too much, then, one way or another, life, fate will sweep you there anyway. So I would just like to get an oracle deck to get you some guidance. So guidance, please. It says, be gentle with yourself. And this makes a lot of sense. As I said earlier, when you muster the strength to control your being, you will, identify everything that you are not gentle with. Keeping yourself more than you need to in a certain kind of stagnation, exactly because the inner forces are contradictory. Again, the example that I use, I so very much need change, but I'm afraid of chaos. I'm afraid of destabilization. Now, that is not being gentle with yourself, because that is where you allow yourself to be in that state of duality. And then we have make a wish, exactly the seed of intention. You see the dandelion seed. When you are ready, it will just go where it needs to go. The winds of fate will carry it. And acceptance of love, the Two of Cups. Love will come to you as you go along. After you took the initiation, whatever that Two of Cups is, a friendship, emotional support, a new person who can give you a bit of cups energy, a bit of soul water in that sense, that will just go along. And the guidance is to accept the love. So I would like to leave it at this. Thank you so much for listening. And I'm really, really hoping that things turn out for the better for you. So until next time, bye for now.